So this is a live, and today I'm going to be talking about don't date this guy, don't entertain this guy, walk away from this guy if you are dating for marriage. If you're dating for a long-term commitment, do not date this gentleman. I was going to honor him with gentleman, but do not date a man with any of these traits. Hello, my darlings. Come on in. I'm going to be here for an hour, literally, because I need to be with a client. So I'm going to be watching the time. And if I don't get through all of them, I will come back and do a part 2. So keep an eye out. So good to see you. And lovely to have you. And this was in response to a request on YouTube. One of the ladies, when I did the video about how men choose to marry a woman, or the women that men choose to marry, she was like, could you do one on how as women we should choose husbands? Okay, so I did a reel on here a few months ago, good morning my love, where I was speaking about months ago, I think I was in the US at the time, and I was talking about this guy's not husband material, and I got so much hate. I've never gotten so much hate in my life. But thank goodness, I've got thick skin-ish. So I'm just really gonna pick up those points from that reel and talk through them, okay? Because obviously I know you're really intelligent, you're really smart, but it's always good to give a bit more depth to some of the points that I give. And if there's any reel I've done or any video I've done and you need me to give it more depth, or you have a question, I think one lady yesterday on the reel I put, she said, how do you own the game? Brilliant question, okay, but can't give you an answer in the comments. So things like that, I'm happy to go into and break down for you. So let's get into the first thing. Now, I'm really excited about the way the relationship world is moving. I know many of us are in a state of despair and we feel some kind of way where the men, what's going on, and this is kind of despair that's kind of entering the dating and relationship world. And I just want to comfort you for a little bit. It's exactly as it should be. What is happening is absolutely natural when there's a pivot, when there is a social change, when there is an upgrade loading. The old ways have to die. The old paradigms have to die. The old ways of seeing things have to die. And when that happens, we all, as a community, as a society, we all have to grieve it. And that's perfectly normal and natural. Many of us are grieving the way things used to be. If you see me scratching my face, it's because I've got so many mosquito bites. It's crazy. I've got mosquito bites everywhere. Thank you, Sardinia, for the mosquitoes. Anyway, we all have to grieve the past. And when we don't understand that we're grieving the old and we're making room for the new, we all get discouraged, but it's okay. I'm loving the fact that there's a standoff. I'm loving the fact that women are on the left and men are on the right. I'm loving the tantrums. I'm loving all of it, because all of it is showing me that we are actually being provoked to think and rethink our ways. We're actually provoking each other as men and women to really say, okay, we need to do some work. Okay, so I love it. I feel that the dust will settle. I feel that a new age in relationships will emerge. An age that is much needed. Much needed, because this generation, are the fruit of toxic, dysfunctional relationships at most. Those of us who grew up in semi-healthy relationships from our family situations, even us, we have so much trauma. So we had to reform relationships. Relationships need a reformation, and reformation is about change on a deep psychological, emotional level, and about adaptation. And some of us will maladapt, and some of us will adapt beautifully. And those of us who maladapt are going to become the outliers of society. They're going to become the weirdos. They're going to become the unselected, the undesired. And those of us who do adapt, we're going to become the most desired. So hang in there. Put your seatbelt on, keep going, keep growing, because we are coming into an awakening and a social consciousness and a relational consciousness If you don't understand that, you're going to believe that dating and relationships are in the trash. They're not. They're in reformation. Okay? They're in reformation. We're reforming relationships. Why? Because what we had before no longer works for where we are in this world. They no longer work for technology. They no longer work for who women are. They no longer work for society. They no longer work for children. They no longer work for technology. So we need a reformation, okay, so that we can actually begin to fall in love again, but fall in love with healthy dynamics. And so what I am seeing spiritually is the rise of relationship experts is not a problem. It's a good thing. It's a sign that the solution is that spiritually, that God is raising a people and a tribe who are here to help reform relationships. So you're safe, you're good, okay? Not everyone in the space is going to be healthy for you. We know that, but you're discerning. That's why you're here, okay? So let's not despair. Let's not despair, okay? This is just a little bit of a word of encouragement. I want you to understand that there is a reformation. There's a spiritual turning. There's a change of God, okay? There's a change of God. We're in a spiritual environment of transformation, of reformation, and you just need to kind of sit in it and be okay with it and allow yourself to be educated as we reform, okay? Yes, I love that you're using the word reformation. Yes, there is a reform, and don't worry, God's got you, I've got you. People have been sent into the relationship space en masse by God to help guide you in this reformation, so you don't end up becoming maladaptive and doing crazy things, okay? And some of us, if we don't pay attention, we're going to become crazy. That's why I'm also building the House of Swans community, because I really want to be able to hold your hands through it. Please, 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 if you can, willing and can, get on the waiting list, get into the community, because it's gonna get steeper. It always gets darker before it gets better, okay? Twilight is the darkest time of the night, yet it is the beginning of morning, okay? So we are getting into that place where we all need to, be around the right mindset, so we adapt well, we change well, and there are people who are winning in this because they're getting the support that they need, okay? We've got clients that are winning even in this moment of reformation, but in order for you to reform, you have to transform, right? So a transformation is required of you so that you can enter into the reform and flow with what's going on. So I want you to know that we are reforming into something more powerful, something more healthy, something beautiful. We're going to create relationships that have healthy dynamics, that raise healthy children, and those children and those generations and those nieces, those nephews, whether you're a parent or not, they are going to become the leaders of a healthier generation. And then there's going to be a separation of the really healthy, functional, humans, and the outliers on the side that will always never quite fit in, and we love them, okay? But these are the people that are going to fail to adapt, and we're seeing that with red pill, we're seeing that with pink pill, we're seeing that with all these extremities. These are people who are struggling to transform and who are not flowing in the reformation, okay? So that's just a word of encouragement. Don't be discouraged. Stay on track. Stay with me. Stay with me. Okay, but more than anything else, I'm also happy about women. I'm really, really happy about women and how we are starting. We're not as we should be, but I'm loving how we are starting to be conscious about our decision for who we marry. When I started in this profession, women just wanted to get married. It didn't matter if he was a loser, a time waster, abusive. It didn't matter. Women were just so obsessed with marriage that it was almost like if a man dangled the M word, she was in. It didn't matter what, as long as he wanted to marry. And so for a long time, men were kind of farming fool, as my Jamaican friends would say. They were bringing the tomfoolery to the table because they knew that there's one thing that women are obsessed over, which was marriage. But now what I'm seeing is women saying, I'm seeing women end engagements, Okay, now some of us might think, but that's a good thing. It's a good sign. For somebody in my line of work, somebody who was called to oversee and overlook the relationship space from my piece of land, from my piece of dominion, okay, because God has given me my piece. I'm not in charge of the whole relationship space, but from my vantage point and from the capacity that I have, I look over relationships morning, noon, and night. I'm always watching over them to see what's going on. I can tell you, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing when women end engagements. It's a wonderful thing when I hear women say, look, I've been engaged 3 times. Why? Because these women are becoming discerning. What happens when women become discerning? What is the magic that happens when women start becoming discerning? When women start becoming selective? When women start doing all of these things, it means their standards have gone up. This is wonderful. This is wonderful not just for men, not just for women. It's wonderful for men. Men self-actualize and they become their best versions of themselves, and they sit more in their masculine energy when they achieve something. And when a feminine woman says, hey, this is me, this is where I'm at, and he has to rise to it. He's going to feel better about himself as a man. His masculine energy is going to come in. He's going to have more testosterone. He's just going to be a better human male. Okay, we bless men when we have high standards and they meet them and they strive to meet them because they're built for that. Okay, so when we're desperate for marriage, when women were totally desperate for marriage, and I know some of us watching this are probably still there, but when the majority of us were desperate for marriage, we lowered our standards to 0, and so therefore we didn't also help the men really achieve and grow. So when I see women raising their standards, I'm like, okay. And another thing that's super important is that the women actually dictate how men behave. Women dictate men's behavior in the sexual marketplace, right? Women dictate men's behavior in the sexual marketplace. When women as a collective and as a consciousness raise our standards together and say, no, I can buy my own diamond ring. I need the man on his knees to be a diamond. I need his character to be diamond. I need his behavior to be I actually now require that the man who is proposing to me be worthy of me. When that happens, what are men gonna do? They're gonna start seeking out to be worthy. Okay, they're gonna start, okay, what is it that women need? And all of a sudden, they're now not gonna see marriage as their little carrot. They're gonna see their character and the development of their character as the carrot. So women are always dictating the behavior of men. When women decided, hey, we're sexually liberated, sex for free, what did we get? Low value men, low quality men. I don't have to prove, show, impress you. I don't have to be valiant. I don't have to be brave. I don't have to be courageous. I don't have to be masculine because it's free for all, baby, right? But when women were like, no, men had to have a job. They had to have these things. Okay, he wasn't gonna talk. Like, the standard was set by women. So when I'm seeing women showing up to lives like this, watching the replays, being a part of the Black Swan community, I can see that your consciousness is rising. You're waking up from your sleep, and a conscious woman, a conscious woman is a woman in her powerful femininity. She's coming into her feminine energy. And when I see consciousness, I see healing. Okay, for you to be so conscious, it means you're healing from certain things. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of women. I'm proud of the way women are moving in the relationship space. There will be pushback because nobody likes change. Nobody likes boundaries. Okay, so when the pushback comes, we don't lower our standards. We keep them right here, up there in the sky. Okay, because I promise you, men are built to meet challenges. They're driven by them. If they're high testosterone men, if they're masculine men, if they're in their manhood and they are owning their sacred manhood. Ooh, don't we all like a good old man? Yes, we do. We like a good man. And if a man is in his masculinity, there's no standard you're going to set that he doesn't see as a challenge and is going to want to hit that. And he's just going to value you. Like, I can't say this enough, but this is how it is. Sorry. This is awful. Oh dear. I'm trying to move my light so that it can... I'm so sorry. Apologies. I should have done that before coming on. I was in such a hurry. So I wanted to say that. I wanted to put that before you and say, you're doing good. You're doing well. Let's keep doing it. So let's break this down and go piece by piece. See if I can move this light some more so that it's... Okay, great. So the number one guy you should not date if marriage is your goal. Number one guy you should not date is a man that doesn't pursue you. This is probably the first thing. You cannot, as a feminine woman, actually it's Patrick. You cannot, as a feminine woman, actually choose from men who do not pursue you. If you do, you're going to find yourself in the begging end of the relationship dynamic. I know some of you have heard your grandmothers or your mothers say relationships only work when the man loves the woman more than the woman loves the man. And I know that a lot of people get upset about this, but let me just explain to you. Research has been done and they have found, don't ask me where or when, but I know I've read it, that the relationships that have lasted and that have more relationship satisfaction are when the man loved the woman more. Now, the reason for that is that masculine energy is resource focused. Masculine energy is designed to get resource. It's focused on stuff. Feminine energy is focused on relationships. A woman is going to show up relationally no matter what. Whether she loves the man, she doesn't love the man, she's going to show up relationally because relationships are what the feminine does. A woman is still going to show up in a nurturing, kind, loving way, whether she loves the guy or not. We do that even with women we don't like, with people we don't like. If we're naturally more nurturing, more relational, more thoughtful, more agreeable, we're naturally going to bring those things to the table whether we are in love or not, right? A man, on the other hand, for him to move his energy from resource finding to the relationship, to make the sacrifices that a relationship requires, to make the adjustments that the relationship requires. Relationshiping is hard. It's work for men, right? Having those softer things to bring to the table, tuning into their feminine energy to be able to listen to you and love you and cherish you, right? It requires them to be more in their feminine and more in it's effortful for them, okay? So for a man to do that, to have to move himself into a relational space and really cherish his woman, he has to have very strong feelings as a motivator. So a man will only really do the things that are necessary for a relationship to exist when he absolutely loves the woman. If he does not love the woman, he will not make any adjustments. He will not make any provisions. He will not be able or willing, to be honest, to do the stuff. This is why the masculine can only operate from the principle of love. The masculine operates from love. The masculine operates from love. So he cannot even engage his masculine when he doesn't have strong feelings for you. Ideally, you want to have the same feelings for each other, but if you have to choose, go for the guy that will have a stronger passion and his love for you is greater than yours. That's the ideal. And when you hear men say the opposite, it's because those men are in the feminine. Okay, they want that woman to take care of them and cherish them. Okay, it only works in the other way, right? It only works that way. So if we need him to love us more, if we need him to be more invested, more emotionally invested, that's not gonna happen if he is not pursuing. The first sign in the dating spectrum and in the dating world that a man is invested, is going to be that guy who's going to love you more, And the marriages that exist, that are healthy, have that dynamic in play, okay? And the ones that, I think it was a marriage expert. I don't know who she is. I'm so sorry. I always forget because I read so much and I forget details. But she, I think she was a marriage therapist. And she said with 95% certainty, she could always tell whether a relationship was going to work or not based on whether the woman loved the man more or the man loved the woman more. And it always worked. It was always the case that the marriage would run into problems when she loved him more. And so there's so much to speak for this experience. I mean, there's a reason grandma used to say it, okay? So if he's not pursuing you, if his energy is not coming towards you, if he's not initiating phone calls, dates, texts, initiating, leading, wanting to see you, wanting to spend time with you, wanting to be in your presence, if that's not even on the table, if you're having to check your phone to see why he hasn't called you the last 2 days, and you're dating for marriage, if you're dating casually, which is not the Black Swan thing, I'm not here to help people date casually because all you have to do is go on an app, and I'm just not interested, okay? And I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not making a judgment on it. I'm just saying it's not what I'm assigned to do, okay? So if you want to date casually, forget everything I'm going to say. Watch this for entertainment and then go and watch something else on television. But if you want to date for marriage, this man is automatically not your husband. Do not date a man who will not pursue you. Do not date a man who says things like, I don't pursue women. I pursue purpose. Okay. A man has to be in his purpose. He has to pursue his purpose. He has to have that drive, right? But as and when he decides that he wants to be partnered in the romantic dynamic, he has to lead, initiate, and pursue. Because being pursued is the feminine's love need. Being pursued is how we feel wanted, loved, and desired. Okay? When a man is not pursuing you, you are not going to feel loved and desired, okay? And that's because he doesn't love you and desire you, all right? So do not marry a man who does not pursue you. Marry the man who pursues you. So if we have 3 guys, Tom, Dick, and Harry, okay? Tom is great. Tom has got a good job. He's solid. He's stable. He's attractive enough. And he is, pursuing, he's consistent. Then we have Harry. Harry is Prince Harry. He's gorgeous. Okay, not our Prince Harry, but just think of another Harry. He's gorgeous. He's sexy. Everything about him just turns you on. Ooh, Harry. Harry's a hottie. Okay, hottie Harry. Okay, he's a 9 out of 10. He is suave. He is, he knows how to get a girl going. Okay, that's Harry. But Harry is inconsistent. Harry's not calling. Harry's got options. Harry be out here wasting people's time. Thank you. Harry's here wasting people's time. Okay. And then you've got, Dick. Okay. Dick is just, get rid of Dick. Dick is a dick. Okay. Dick ain't trying to, Dick is red pill. Okay. He's hardcore red pill. His black pill. That's Dick. Okay. Chase the woman he doesn't do. Okay, let's just get rid of Dick. Okay. So Dick, we know, is a complete waste of time. We're going to get rid of him. So now we have Tom and Harry. And you kind of really, really like, Tom is all right. He's sexy enough. He's nice enough. Go for Tom. Okay, choose Tom. Because Harry is not your husband. All right. And this is where I really want our consciousness to be elevated, because too many of us are choosing Harry over Tom. Harry's good for a good time. Harry's good for a bit of a laugh. He's fine. He looks good in the pictures, blah, 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 blah. But we want Tom. Okay. We want consistent Tom, attractive enough Tom, pursuing Tom. All right? That's who we want if we want to get married. And this is the work I do with a lot of my brides. This is the work we do here is, who's meeting your core needs here? Is Tom. Okay. These are the guys that we marry. These are the guys we do life with. Men that pursue us consistently, that give us all of that. These are the men we marry. Okay, Tom. Say after me. Tom. Yes to Tom, says the feminine engineer. I love it. So if he's not pursuing you, please, babies, please, my darling swans. If a man's not pursuing you, be done. And you know how I am. Just be done. Be done. Goodbye. You know, cry in your pillow. Cry in your pillow, you know, but be done. But I want to say something. Tom has to be attractive to you, okay? He might not get your knickers wet at the first sight of him like does Harry. You know, Harry might get your knickers wet just looking at him. But Tom, the way he treats you, keeps your body warm, okay? And the idea of sharing a bed with Tom doesn't fill you with horror. You know, you can imagine things would be quite nice with Tom. You know, like you know that you and him could build up some chemistry, you know. So if Tom is like ill, he's not your guy either. You know, he's like Dick. All right. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be attracted to Tom, but I'm saying never choose Harry over Tom, right? So marry Tom. Yes, Tom. I love that. You ladies are so funny. Okay, number 2, the guy that you should marry, that you should consider marrying. And this is, I think I say this so many times, but I'm going to say it for those of you who are new and don't know or have missed it. If he invests time, money, effort, marry him. Okay? Marry that guy. I don't want to say this because I'm going to say it wrong. Agwita wata? Y'all have choices. That's wild to me. I rarely ever meet a contender. That girl, you need to come to the House of Swans. We can fix that for you. Okay, so we have, if he doesn't invest time, money, effort, he's not your husband. Let's keep that moving. Why? Because it is time, money, effort that keeps the feminine fed. Trust me. It's also an indication of his love for you, his feelings for you. How do we know we have a Tom? Because he invests time, money, and effort. Tom invests time, money, effort. That's how we know we have a Tom. Harry doesn't want to invest nothing. Harry just wants to say, hey, and then you say, hi, Harry. Okay? No. Right? We want Tom because Tom invests money, time, and effort. Why is this important? You're going to have a family one day. Maybe, maybe not. You will be his either you're going to be the family as a 2-people family, or you're going to have children and add that to that family. If you add children to that family, they need a father who will provide for them, who will give them time, attention, and effort. Okay? Otherwise, you end up becoming a single mother in a marriage. So if he can't show up front the person he's going to co-create life with, that he can give time, effort, and money, investment, why would you marry him? And if you're not going to marry him, why are you dating him? Why are you wasting your time? You know, sometimes as women, we want to be like, oh, he wasted my time. No, baby, you wasted your own time. You wasted your own time. Because he was not investing time, money, or effort. But you thought he would one day do it? No. Sarah Muhammad says, what do you do if you have a Tom but he doesn't want to get married? You get rid of him. Girls, men are really clear on their goals. Women, we're not. And I understand why they are, because they've got masculine energy. But sometimes we need to tap into our masculine and have goals. If marriage is your goal and Tom doesn't want to marry, Tom is eliminated because he cannot help you to get to your goal. You know, and I say that with love, even though my eyes might not be saying that. Forgive my eyes, they have their own expression. I really genuinely say that with love. If my goal is marriage, if my destination for my dating, if my intention as I date is to marry, and Tom is giving me, I don't want to marry, Tom's got to go. Okay. Harry wants you to define the vision for the relationship. Ambiguity is enough information from him. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Absolutely. So if he's not investing time, money, effort, he's not planning dates, he's not being creative, he's not giving you actual real time, you have to fight for his time, you have to hope to be seen one day, what do you think is going to happen for your kids? What are you actually thinking is going to happen long term? And I think, you know, women, we're kind of delusional. We kind of think, well, when we get married, things will change. No, they won't. They'll get worse. Everything that you were seeing in the dating setup that you don't like magnifies after I do. Because we have this perception of marriage that once I marry you, effort no longer is required. So people's performance in marriage goes down by 80% because they don't know how to do relationships the Black Swan way. You know, when you marry a Black Swan, your behind is going to make effort till the day you die. And you as the Black Swan are going to make effort till the day you die. Because there's nothing in this world that is worth having and keeping that does not require investment emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And if you think that is any different because you are now married, you're an idiot and you're about to get divorced or you're about to get your psychology broken down in that relationship. Okay? So, be aware. Be aware that marriage is the beginning of the biggest effort. So whatever effort you're making in dating, you're going to double that in marriage to keep it going. Now, if he's not even giving effort at the dating phase, you don't even know where his behind is. You haven't heard from him. He's the guy that's not going to come home. He's the husband that thinks coming in at 4 a.m. makes sense. He's the father the kids will never see. He is telling you who he is. He is telling you, do not marry him, do not entertain him, don't date him. What are you doing? What are we doing? What are we doing here, girls? You're wasting your own time. The sooner you eliminate foolishness from your life, you create space for the real things to come. The sooner you eliminate foolishness for your life, you actually learn to respect yourself. When you respect yourself, when you love yourself, you start to feel like, oh, I'm worthy. Because a lot of our stories, they're worthiness stories. How do you build your self-worth? By choosing you over foolishness. As you choose you and walk away from foolishness, trust me, something internally happens. Whew. You start to think, I'm that girl. I'm that girl who can do that thing. I'm that bad bitch. I probably shouldn't say that. But you know what I mean? I'm that girl. I'm the girl. And when you do that, you fill up your self-worth tank. And when you fill up your self-worth tank, guess what? You attract men who are on the next vibration. Because let me just give you a little secret. Please say big sis, I'm here for you, honey. Let me tell you a little secret. The world operates on vibrational frequencies. We have angels amongst us, we have demons amongst us, we have ghosts amongst us, but they're vibrating on a completely different frequency from us. That's why we can't see them. That's why we can't interact with them. That's why we can't talk to them, because they're on a different vibrational frequency. But they're here with us, right? and in human realities, we're all on different vibrational frequency. That's why there are people with loads and loads of money that you'll never meet. It's not because we don't share the same, breathe the same air, or walk on the same streets. It's just that you are not on their vibrational frequency. Everyone, how is it possible that people have a way of congregating around people with the same issues? Druggies end up locating each other. People who do this, we categorize, but that categorization is on a vibrational frequency. So every time you work on yourself, every time you walk away from foolishness, every time you put some worth on yourself, some value on yourself, you elevate your vibrational frequency and you come to a new level where there are men who put some value on themselves, and men who respect themselves, and men who love themselves are on that frequency. And on that frequency, you are going to meet each other. I was sharing with one of my coaches something that I didn't know. Probably you ladies knew, but I didn't know that there were highways in the sky. Okay, like real proper freaking highways. Like, it's amazing. Just like how cars move. I thought airplanes were just arbitrarily just flying places. No, they have a whole highway. They've got a whole system. Oh, it's so exciting. When I saw it, I was amazed. And they stack up one plane behind the other. It's amazing. Okay. I never saw that. They're highways in the sky. They are levels beyond what we can see. But on that level where the planes are flying, only planes can see each other. How cool is that? Okay. Yet, there's a whole other level where people are in cars, and people are on foot. These are all vibrational frequencies, okay? So when you start to, I'm speaking your language, I'm so glad. When you start to put some self-worth on yourself, this is why why black swans end up having, when women come to us, they're like the lady who said earlier, how come you all have options? I can't even find one. When you become a black swan and you become part of the community and you start having these dating experiences that are worlds apart, it's because my job is to elevate your vibrational frequency by teaching you how to love yourself and grow yourself and navigate like a badass, okay? Like a black swan, okay? To be an elite woman, you end up getting elite offers. Some of us are low vibrational. Okay? We'll take BS from men because we are low vibrational. We only meet men that give us BS because we're low vibrational. All right? Now, how do we change our vibration? Thinking and feeling. We have to change our minds to change everything. What I think Cindy Trim says something that I love. And she says, what's the one thing you have to change that you can change that will change everything? Your mind. Your mind. You have to understand that many of us are sitting here with conditioned ways of thinking, scripted ways of thinking that are keeping you in a loop and keeping you on a vibrational frequency. That's why you're good with a non-investing guy. I want to open your eyes to see that the world is full of investing, high vibration men who are waiting to find a wife, who are single today because you are in the low vibration and they're in the higher vibration and they're waiting. And I meet them all the time. I meet men who are invested in personal development, who have so much money, who are building their houses, who have everything, and they're struggling to meet a woman to marry, not to shag, sleep with. They're struggling because you, who is a quality woman, are low vibrational. Because you think that what you see on your vibrational level is all there is. It's not true. And you would have to become a black swan to really know that that's not true. Okay? Number 3, kind of in tandem with number 2. If a man splits the bill with you, please never see him again. I can't, ladies. I can't. If this offends you, please just come off. Just get off my page. Unfollow. Unsubscribe. Just get lost. Because you're just not a black swan. And that's okay. The chickens and the ducks, they're somewhere else. I don't know where the chickens and ducks hang out, but here's where the swans hang out. Okay. If you are a black swan, if you're a majestic creature, if you're exquisite, we're not splitting the bill. We're not even entertaining that guy. Listen, gold diggers, my niece sent me something yesterday that was so funny. It was a reel. I can't tell you who did it, but it was so funny, but it's so true. Gold diggers want cars, they want diamonds, they want homes, they want their rent paid, they want their whole lifestyle paid for. A black swan is really just asking for a piece of chicken, a coffee, a drink. And she's a gold digger. Let me tell you something. If it behoves a man, it burns him, it tears him apart to provide a meal, to pay for some chicken and maybe fish or, okay, it's lobster. Like, I'm allergic to shellfish, so I can't have any of that. But okay. It behoves him. It burns him. There are reasons for that. There are. He's a wounded man. That means he's been doing it for a lot of women who've used him and run off. And how have they used him? If you really ask that guy, they didn't put out. I've been paying for 5 dinners and none of them put out. Or I paid for 10 dinners for a girl and she didn't put out. This is not a man looking for a wife. This is a man looking for a lay. Why are we wasting our time? Number 2, he is not in his masculine. It is in the masculine energy. It is imprinted, it is hardwired in the masculine to provide. He's not in his masculine. Why would a black swan want to marry a man who's not in his masculine? Why? Okay, he's not in his masculine. So unless you want to be his husband, he's not in his masculine. Number 3, he broke, or he is incompetent, or he is incapable, and he's looking for a donkey. He's looking for a beast of burden to look after him. Number 4, he's not a man of status, class, dignity, or elegance. And that's what we are. Surely, that is what we are. We are women of status, class, elegance, and sophistication. We're ladies. A gentleman pays because he's a gentleman. Not because he wants to get laid. Not because these women. No, he pays because he's a gentleman. Because it is gentlemanly behavior. We act with class and sophistication and elegance because we are ladies. Not because the men we're dealing with are worthy or good enough or no, I'm gonna treat you with respect, sophistication, and elegance, regardless of who you are, whether you're from the hood, whether you're from the streets, whether you're from the palace, whether you're from the slums, you get the same treatment from Chengi because Chengi will forever be a lady. I will always be a lady. I was walking with Coach Yvonne the other day, and when she was with me here in Italy, and this gentleman, he was trying to get my attention, and he was kind of doing ridiculous things. And I smiled at him, and I acknowledged him, and I continued to go about my business. And Coach Yvonne is like, "How do you do that?" And I was like, "I will never malice a man. Never. I will never side-eye a man. I will never disrespect a man. Never. It doesn't matter what he's doing. It doesn't matter whether he's being ridiculous. I will always show a man honor and respect because I respect myself and because I'm a lady." I will never be like, "Oh, F off. What you're looking at." No. If you want to speak to me, I will speak to you. Unless, of course, there's a clear danger. I feel like you're not safe. Then I'm not going to speak to you. Then I'm going to run, or I'm going to seek help or whatever. Maybe you have maybe you're not well or whatever. But no. No, you will not catch me side-eyeing a man acting some kind of way. What do we want these men to do? We're presenting ourselves as beautiful women. We're presenting ourselves as elegant women. Of course, like a flower, bees must come. The bees must come. And then how are we going to say men don't approach women anymore when we malice them and we look at them like they're crazy? Well, we as a culture have to be gracious. We have to be gracious. We have to be gracious when men approach us so that men can know that, oh, it's okay to approach a woman. And guess what? It's okay to say thank you. No. Thank you for the effort of coming over and saying hello. But unfortunately, I'm not interested. But I wish you a good day. If you won't take no for an answer, then you're going to have to take greater precautions, right? You're going to maybe have to be really firm and say thank you. No. And if you won't take it, then you're going to have to signal for help, okay? But 99.9% of the time, this doesn't happen. 99% of the time, a man expects to get a yes or a no. Generally, he's going to fight a little bit for it. But if you're really clear and respectful, he's going to say thank you and go by his business. Why? So it's about being a lady. In the same way, a man who is a gentleman pays for dates. Why do you want to marry a man who's not a gentleman? Because he's going to embarrass you. He's going to not cherish you because it takes gentlemanly behavior to cherish a woman. So if we are behoved and we're getting stuck at chicken, I tried being a lady with a sugar daddy. Now he makes it rain on me. Yay. That's so funny. You girls are so funny. Just get an older man, way old, like 90. That's so funny. You know, if we're getting stuck at a man not willing to pay the bill, this looks a bit like the check comes and he's looking at you. In fact, I'm gonna just take a breath in, girls. I think I dated one guy who sat there and watched the bill, and I sat there and I watched it too. We all just watched it. We just watched the bill. Obviously, I never saw him again. He did pay, and I never saw him again. But the men that I date, honestly, I don't even know when the bill's been paid. Honestly, the last date I went on, I didn't even know I didn't know when the bill was paid. Like, they don't even want me to know that there's even a bill. Okay, like, you know, I don't have to go to the loo and pretend as if I don't put any stunts. When the bill comes, we're gonna look at it. And when I feel that you are completely incapable of being already the discomfort, it's uncomfortable. Because what are you trying to do? Test me that I'm a gold digger? Oh. Like, okay, so we went out to dinner and we had something to eat, and you ate too, right? So it's not like you watched me eat. It's not like you took your little 4-year-old to dinner. So we both had something to eat, and the bill comes, and you were checking to see if I'm a gold digger because of some chicken or some. Why? Why am I even going to give you another minute of my time? Why? Why are we doing it, girls? Why are we doing it? We don't even need to discuss. I will take out my card, pay for both of us, and never see you again. Because I'm not here because I couldn't buy myself dinner. I'm here because you requested my time and my attention, and I am your guest. I'm your guest. I didn't chase you. I didn't pursue you. I didn't ask you out on a date. You asked me. I'm your guest. And it is gentlemanly to take care of your guest. Now, it's like me inviting you over to my house for dinner and then saying, but you have to bring half of the meal. If I invited you, I must have figured out how I was going to feed you. Now, it's very sweet and it's very kind of you to bring a bottle, right? And as bring a gift for the host. This is, civil and good etiquette and good manners when you're invited to dinner. But I cannot sit there and look at you and say, well, I invited you to dinner, where's the dessert? Because I didn't have to invite you. In the same way, if a man invites you out on a date, you are his guest. He's requested your time. He's requested your attention. And you have politely agreed. So I'm not even going to have the argument about, but I did my hair, I did my makeup, I did my shoes. Because these feminine men, they're going to come and say, well, my seat is, I don't care. I don't care, sir. You asked me out on a date. I was minding my own business, going about my life, okay? I presented myself in the world, as exquisite as I am, and you thought yourself worthy to ask for my time and my attention. And of all the men I've said no to, I said yes to you. And now we want to sit here and be looking at the bill and acting like you will never qualify. You will not qualify for a second date. You will be kicked to the curb so hard. And of course I said yes because you're fine. Or I said yes because there's something about you that I find attractive. And as hard as it's going to be for me to walk away, I'm not trying to be with that kind of loser. End of story, period. The feminine engineer, feminism preached on independent women has damaged our mindset and undermined our feminine intelligence. Thanks for these teachings. This is empowerment. You are so welcome. Feminine engineer, I love that. How do you put your foot down in a relationship without being masculine? My boyfriend expects me to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and if I'm at his house. Lord God, Father. Okay, that's a conversation for another time. Okay, if I have some time at the end of this, I'll answer this for you. But I do believe I've answered this in the masterclass, Dark Feminine Energy and High Value Strategies, which are actually 60% off at the moment. So I would go to the website. You don't need a coupon code because everything has been slashed to 60% on the website, and do those 2 courses. You have allowed and created a dynamic that is not going to be an easy turnaround, not without creating unnecessary and huge conflict in the relationship. So what we need is a dynamic shift, and there's a way to do that. And get yourself on the waiting list for House of Swans, because I will be in the House of Swans answering questions and really, really delving deep and answering your questions when we launch it. We're still working on it because I want it to be perfect, because I'm a perfectionist, and it probably won't be perfect, but it will probably launch mid-December or the beginning of the new year, probably the beginning of the new year. We'll see. But get yourself on the waiting list. That's why I've got a waiting list, because you'll be informed the moment we launch, but beyond that, if you can. But that it would take forever and take me off topic if I were to answer that. In the UK, I know so many women that provide in the relationship, and I think it starts from there, from how men are raised nowadays. Like back in my countries, we don't even have to teach men. Absolutely. Like I said, women dictate men's behavior. If we're out here doing 50-50 and then going on another date with them or sleeping with them at the end of that night, we are making it okay. We're saying this is something that's okay. And if as a collective we were just not on it, I think the dating playbook is another one that all of you need to have. Is 60% off. Go get it. It's not okay. There's a way that we need to date that says it's not okay. And the only women that'll be okay with that are the women that are undesirable to these men. That's just the truth. There are women that will go with the 50-50 and all of these things, the hardcore feminists and the angry women or whatever they are over there on the side, the ducks and the chickens, okay. They will happily pay, but those are not the women that men want. Men want black swans. They do. They want black swans. So if it's a black swan you're asking out on a date, that's what's up. So we don't even need to be thinking, when a man sits there and refuses to be a good host, make sure you're taken care of and pay the bill. We're not marrying him. We're not even seeing him again. We are not interested, okay? Without exception. This is the first is the smallest, tiniest requirement you're gonna have. And that is not to say that on his birthday or now and again you can't bring him a little this or do something for him. We can talk about that, in the House of Swans, and it's in the dating playbook. The things that we can do to show appreciation to a man and, give back to him out of a place of appreciation, the things we can do. But we're definitely not going to be sitting this in the bill. Okay? We're not doing that. She innocently said, "Oh, I assumed you were paying because you invited me. Okay, I'll pay for mine." You said, "No, I'll pay. But there were more games." Crazy. Is dark feminine energy and energy masterclass in the same course? They're two different courses, but I believe they're in a bundle. So you can actually get the bundle for 60% off, which is already discounted. So you can get those together. You're on the waiting list and I'll check it out. Okay, brilliant. Definitely get the dating playbook and high value strategies and dark feminine energy. Or book a complimentary call with the coaches. You just have to come and help and you can get a call with them. And it's free. So the end was near, as it should have been. Okay, good. I'm going to give one more, then I got to go because I have a client waiting for me. Okay. If his friends are cheaters and losers, okay, listen. He's passed these few tests and you meet his friends. And his friends are losers or they're cheaters. Do not marry him. Do not date him any further. Let me tell you something. Birds of a feather flock together. You can learn a lot about a person by the company they keep. We know this, but we ignore this because we want to make our man the exception. He's not. If you sit with his friends and they're talking nonsense and they're idiotic and they're shallow and they drink a lot and they do all of these things that perhaps you're not into, dump him. I dated this one guy. Story time. Amazing. Educated. Together. Everything about him. Together. Good looking. Hey. What can I say? In every way. Good caliber. Okay. And when I figured out what his friends were, I was like, that'd be a nice goodbye, sir. Because there's no way your friends are dealers are kind of weird. And these are the people you were spending a lot of time with. That would be a no for me, thank you. He had to go. And when I met his friends, I started to understand some little amber flags that were flashing, right? I was like, oh. So he was basically from the streets, on the streets, but he was just kind of playing the gentleman game to be with a lady, right? But that would be a no. Because you are never going to surprise me. And I remember him saying, I think I do have to change my friends. He came up with it himself. I've changed my friends. And I was like, no, you actually need to outgrow your friends. They're your friends because that's where you are. But when you elevate, they will no longer be relevant. I'm very proud of my friendships. If I introduce you to my friends, you will know why I am the way that I am. Because I hang around women who are exactly like me. Who are smart, intelligent, loving, kind, warm, wise. Birds of a feather flock together. We're here together today because you're birds of a feather. Okay, so check out his friends. Don't ignore his core friendship group. If his best friend cheats on his wife or partner, he's going to cheat on you. He's going to do it. Because he has nobody in his life to say, no, dude, don't do that to her. Because he does it to his wife. So why is he going to advocate for you? If he's a loser, your man's going to be a loser. A man's friends are telling. It doesn't matter what front he puts, what his mask is. His friends will tell you everything you need to know. And you could take a bit of that advice for yourself. Who are your friends? Who are those women you hang around with that are not a representation of who you are? But you hang around them because you'd rather have a friend than be alone. Because guess what? Men are going to judge you based on your friendships. If it's wise and if it's smart, because I would tell my son the same thing. Check out her friends. Be careful the company you keep. For us and for him. So his friends are dodgy. We're not entertaining him. Okay? Ladies, I'm going to conclude here because I have another 6 points. So I'm going to do this in stages. Okay, so when I see you next time on a Wednesday, hopefully, depending on where I am in the world, when I see you again, we're going to continue to have this conversation. But here's what I really want you to take away with you. What I really want you to take away with you. Time is not the same for women as it is for man. It gets us all, but in different ways. If marriage, family, children is on your books, then for sure time is not on your side. Knowing these things and eliminating dust and weirdos and time wasters. Take it from a 47-year-old woman. People always ask me why I tell my age, because I'm very proud and I'm very grateful to God to have lived this long. And because I come from a culture that celebrates aging. So that helps. I'm your big sis, your auntie and your mommy. Okay, I've lived a little. You know, I know there are people that might say maybe not, but I have lived a little. And I was born with a very old soul. So I'm going to say this to you. Time. Don't let anybody waste it. Don't let anyone waste it. Number 2. People will show you who they are from the gate. Just pay attention. Number 3. When they show you who they are, thank God. Get on your knees. Thank God. And walk away. We stay too long. I had a client, but I had to catch up with her, and it was a beautiful romance when it started. It was the most beautiful story. 2 years in, and stuff has hit the fan, and it's hit the fan bad. I had to say to her, hey, it's okay. It's okay to choose to try. Every relationship we have is a risk. You know, sometimes the ducks are in a row, it all makes sense. But it doesn't matter at what stage. As long as we haven't walked up the aisle, you take your out, you leave. Learning to know when to leave is going to be your superpower. Everything I've shared with you so far, you can leave on the first date. You can leave after a month. You can, because these things are going to show up pretty early. Because every minute you spend with Mr. Wrong, you're taking away from Mr. Right. And every minute and every hour you are not creating space for the right man in your life, you are jeopardizing never actually meeting the right man. So many beautiful, sweet, kind women never got to find love or had to wait longer than they needed to, getting married late in life, which is fine, perfectly fine. But if it's not your desire, please don't waste your time. Don't doubt what I said. If you don't believe it, that's okay. everything I have taught you in this last hour, you can question it. Please do. Question it. But I'm telling you the truth. Don't try. If you're wise, when you see it, keep it moving. Every time you keep it moving, you make room. You make room for your truest, soulful, spiritual desires. I love you. I gotta go. I got somebody waiting, but I'll see you on the next live, and maybe we'll get a chance to ask questions and answer them. Love you. Bye-bye.